Look around you. Your phone, your shoes, your coffee machine, even your shampoo may have crossed an ocean. But the real hero of that journey is not the product. It is the steel box that carried it. It looks ordinary, just a rectangle of corrugated metal. But this box lowered the cost of trade, reshaped cities, changed manufacturing, and transformed retail. This is the story of the shipping container, the box that built the modern world. Before containers, global shipping was slow, messy, expensive, and dangerous. Cargo did not move as one neat unit. It moved as thousands of separate pieces. Coffee sacks, oil barrels, machine crates, cotton bales, food cartons. Each had to be handled manually. Every handoff meant more labor, more time, more damage, and more theft. Ships could spend more time sitting in port than sailing at sea. Global trade was possible, but it was painfully inefficient. Then came a trucking entrepreneur named Malcom McLean. He saw the problem clearly. Ports were not slow because ships were weak. They were slow because cargo was being handled piece by piece. His idea was simple. Stop moving the cargo. Move the box. Pack it once. Seal it once. Move it across truck, ship, and rail. In 1956, a converted tanker called the Ideal X sailed from Newark to Houston. It carried just 58 containers, but it launched a logistics revolution. The container was not just packaging. It was a new operating system for trade. The container became powerful because the world agreed on standards. A 20-foot container became 1 TEU, a 20-foot equivalent unit. A 40-foot container became 2 TEU. Corner castings allowed cranes to lift containers safely from the same points every time. Twist locks allowed containers to stack and lock together. Ships, trucks, trains, cranes, chassis, ports, and warehouses could now be designed around one unit. A steel box packed inland could cross the ocean without anyone touching the cargo inside. As containers spread, ships had to change. Old cargo holds gave way to cellular ships designed to carry boxes in precise stacks. Over time, the ships grew larger and larger. Today's mega container ships can carry tens of thousands of TEU. Bigger ships reduce the cost per container at sea, but they also push new pressure onto ports. Deeper channels, larger cranes, bigger yards, faster rail links, everything had to grow. The ocean became efficient, but the port became the new bottleneck. A modern container port is not just a dock. It is a giant machine. Ship-to-shore cranes lift containers from vessels with astonishing precision. Yard cranes stack boxes by destination, priority, weight, and timing. Terminal operating systems decide where each container should go. Trucks pass through digital gates, scanned by cameras, sensors, and appointment systems. Rail lines move containers inland, connecting ports to factories, cities, and distribution centers. Reefer containers are plugged into power to keep food, medicine, and flowers alive. Customs systems decide what moves freely and what must wait. Every box is identified, tracked, stacked, released, and repositioned. The port is where steel, software, labor, and global trade collide. Imagine a shampoo bottle made in Asia and sold in Europe. Its bottle, cap, label, carton, and packaging may each come from different suppliers. Finished cartons are packed into a container at the factory. The container is sealed and trucked to the port. It is lifted onto a vessel and carried across the ocean. At the destination port, the same box is discharged and moved inland. At the distribution center, the cargo is unloaded, palletized, and sent to stores. The product travels thousands of kilometers, but the container makes it feel like one continuous movement. Containerization did more than make shipping cheaper. It changed business strategy. Companies could manufacture in one country and sell in another. Retailers could fill shelves with products sourced from across the world. Manufacturers could split production across regions, chasing cost, capability, and scale. Consumers gained access to cheaper and more varied products. But the same system created new dependencies. Freight rates, port delays, Container shortages and geopolitics can change everyday product costs overnight. The container-made supply chains efficient, but also tightly connected. The box may look simple, but it carries hidden costs. If an import container stays too long at the terminal, demurrage charges begin. If the empty container is returned late, detention charges start. A delayed document, a missed truck slot, or a full warehouse can suddenly become a logistics bill. Then there is the problem of empty boxes. Some countries import more than they export, so empty containers pile up. Exporters elsewhere may be desperate for containers but unable to find them. Moving an empty box earns no cargo revenue, but the system cannot function without it. In container shipping, even an empty box has a cost, a location, and a deadline. A sealed container is not automatically a safe container. Cargo can shift during braking, rail movement, crane handling, or rough seas. Moisture can condense and damage cartons, labels, electronics, and food packaging. Weight can be misdeclared, creating risks for ships, terminals, roads, and workers. Dangerous goods can become catastrophic if wrongly documented or poorly packed. This is why loading matters. Weight distribution, blocking, bracing, and verified gross mass are not paperwork. They are safety systems. The container is strong, but only when the cargo inside is prepared for the journey. The world learned the importance of containers during crisis. During the pandemic, containers were stuck in the wrong places. Ports became congested, freight rates surged, and retailers struggled to keep shelves full. Later, geopolitical tensions and maritime disruptions forced ships to reroute. Longer routes meant more fuel, more days, and more uncertainty. The container had made global trade incredibly efficient, but efficiency also created fragility. When one part of the network fails, the ripple can travel across oceans. The next chapter of container shipping will not only be about bigger ships, it will be about smarter, cleaner, and more resilient systems. Containers will be tracked in real time. Smart seals will monitor tampering. Sensors will report temperature, shock, humidity, and location. Ports will become more automated, with cranes, gates, and yards controlled by data. Shippers will demand lower carbon routes and better emissions visibility. Companies will design supply chains not just for lowest cost, but for resilience. The steel box is becoming a data node in the global economy. The shipping container is easy to ignore because it is everywhere. It sits on ships, trains, trucks, ports, depots, warehouses, and highways. But inside those boxes is the story of modern life. Global manufacturing, retail abundance, fragile dependencies, and invisible supply chain choreography. The container did not just move goods, it moved the world into a new era. So the next time you pick up an ordinary product, remember its hidden journey. Somewhere along the way, a steel box may have carried it across the planet. The container is not just a box. It is the operating unit of global trade. Subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden systems that power global supply chains.